Back with another RIZIN picks preview and breakdown podcast. I'm just going to say it's a podcast now because we go so long. It's basically a podcast episode with the mighty J Wolf here on the City Life Project YouTube channel. We're going to go through every single fight on this card, prelims all the way to the main event. Obviously covering the first leg of the heavyweight Grand Prix as well. J Wolf, how's it going, buddy?
What's up, brother? How you doing, Aisha? Man, it's so fantastic to be back here on the City Life Project, doing another episode, preview for the Epic RIZIN Fighting Federation. I cannot wait for this card, man. We got another 20 bouts on this card, and the RIZIN 50 that just happened this year kicked us off in fantastic, sensational fashion. There was so much superior rule set action on the previous card. It was sensational. I'm so excited for it to continue with this one. We got to kick off with the heavyweight Grand Prix. It was so big. Even got its own special poster with dinosaurs and everything. It's fantastic, and we got loaded with just so many superior rule set fights, quality matchups. It's just gonna be so much freaking fun. I just can't wait. I'm so excited. Everybody go to RIZIN.tv and order it, and it's only like $20 and it's well worth it. You get full replay, everything, and just, man, if the RIZIN 50, the previous event was any indication, this one's going to be a banger as well. I cannot wait. And thank you for having me on the show as well. And thank you to all your listeners as well. This is good. Let's have some fun. It's going to be awesome.
Absolutely. Well, let's get right into it. It's a big card here, 20 fights. Let's fire through some of the prelims here first, starting with a kickboxing bout against Daichi, Akahira against Futa Hashimoto. Now, the Hashimoto brothers making some noise in the kickboxing world. He's 19 years of age, been fighting in Crush pretty much his entire career. Some of his early fights were in a few other smaller promotions, and he's currently riding a 3-fight win streak. 2 of his last wins being by knockout in the first round. One of them being leg kick, another one being a shot to the body. Daichi Akahira, he is, I don't know how old he is, but he's pretty young as well. He won a regional kickboxing title in his last fight, knocking out his opponent, and has fought in RIZIN before, fought in RIZIN Landmark 9 in the Kobe show, where he beat Yuki Yoshioka via decision. He also fought in RIZIN 41, where he knocked out Yuto Miwa. So even though he's fought in some lower promotions, not quite as, I guess, respected as Crush, I'm picking him to win this one. J-Wolf, just overall technically more sound in my opinion. Despite Hashimoto having finishes, they're not punches to the face finish. He has wicked kicks, which obviously Akahira will have to look out for, but I think he's just the faster fighter. That's who I'm picking.
Okay, I'll go with that. But wait, how old is Akahira?
I don't know. Tapology doesn't say, so.
I know, Tapology doesn't even have the information. What the heck?
Yeah, so I don't know. But I imagine pretty young as well.
Right. I mean, the title for this event is, what's it called?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I should say RIZIN Otoko Matsuri, which is Men's Day.
Yeah, the men's festival. That's why I kept my winter beard to go with the men's festival theme.
Yeah, I drew a bunch of super bad dicks on my notes for Men's Day. I drew cigarettes on the last UFC one for Pratas, and we went super bad for this one. I had no idea that's what it meant, because it was going to be the match 2, which they just don't ever go with the match name again. Nothing's going to be as big as that show.
Right. And once Ren got injured, that's when they had to step up. Chihiro luckily got the spot. I mean, I think it's a more dangerous fight.
I mean, we'll get to that. There's a few guys making a quick turnaround for this one. But let's move on to the next.
But this kid, I want to pick Hashimoto just because he's 19 years old
with some knockout power.
Yeah. But it's funny because they got a 19-year-old on the men's festival. I mean, I guess he's 18
in Canada. 18, you're legally an adult. So just saying.
Yeah, same thing in the United States. So I guess he's technically an adult, but it's like
you can drink at 18. You can drink at 18 in Canada, though.
Oh, is that right? Nice. See, I'm just gonna go with youth on this one. So I'll just go with Hashimoto. Just to be different for the picks, but
watch Akahira be like 17.
I know, right? Making his debut. That's why there's no information for him.
Yeah. Well, it's not even. He's had 2 fights in RIZIN, so I think they're around the same age. Late teens, early 20s. Anyways,
What the heck's up with Tapology not having his info?
Yeah, they don't. It's kickboxers, they're not usually as dialed in. They are dialed in on this next one though. And again, guys, this order is probably going to be a little bit off, especially early on this card than the official bout order. We don't have the official bout order yet. It's different everywhere. So we're going off of what the We Are RIZIN podcast bout order was. After listening to their show, I just took some notes, then did my own notes, watched some tape, and I just kind of went off a hybrid of their show and Sherdog's order because I know Tapology is wrong. But let's get to the first MMA fight on this card. We have Takao Ueda against Vinicius Silveira. Now, Vinicius Silveira is a 1-1 as a pro. Lost his last fight in Deep, won his first pro fight in Deep. So he's been fighting in Deep. He's 24 years of age. Got a KO TKO loss in his last fight and got an armbar win in his first fight. So very much more of a grappler. And quite honestly, haven't seen him tested on the feet enough yet to see if he's got any hands, but he did get knocked out in his last fight. Going up against the veteran who's 41 years of age, Ueda, 13-8-6, 1-2-2 in his last 5 fights. Last fought 5 years ago. Apparently he's been coaching for the last few years ago. So coming out of retirement, they're bringing in Unk Coach here, who also is a pretty good grappler. 8 submissions in his MMA career. Never fought in RIZIN. So both these guys are making their RIZIN debut. Funny enough, the Unk coming out of retirement, making his RIZIN debut. Fought in ZST mostly, where he went 13-8-6. A lot of draws in his MMA career. I mean, man, this isn't Kanehara. This isn't Nakamura. This guy hasn't been fighting in 5 years. At least some of these other Unks, some of these other older guys in RIZIN and Deep and on the regional scene, at least fight once or twice a year, even if it's a loss. I think RIZIN's taking a page out of Dana White's book here, and they're propping up this Brazilian guy.
Well, how did Vinicius Silveira look on Deep?
Well, his last fight, not good because he wasn't able to get the takedown and he got knocked the fuck out. The fight before, very good, on the ground, made it look easy getting the armbar, right? So it's just how much is his strike? I mean, he's Brazilian. He was born in a gi and a couple of stripes on his white belt, right? Every Brazilian comes out of the womb in a gi. So yeah, definitely more of a jiu-jitsu guy, but I'm interested to see how much better his hands have gotten. And again, against a guy in his 40s who hasn't fought in 5 years, I don't care if you're a coach and still training, the speed, even if the technique's not there, the speed's probably gonna go with the younger guy. And but
you said Ueda is also a grappler as well.
He's got quite a bit of submissions in his career. I just, how I see this fight going is a Brazilian getting the body lock, sweeping the leg, getting the back, and good night, Jim Kite.
Okay, but so you think it is going to be a grappler's delight, so to speak, with two grapplers matching up, and it's going to be mostly grappling, hardly any striking.
Yeah, dude, Ueda hasn't fought in 5 years. He's in his 40s. He's just going to be too slow. Even against a guy who's new, he's just going to be too slow. And the guy who's new at least has one path to victory, and that's grappling. So he may take a punch or two to get that underhook or get that takedown, but I'm confident the Brazilian will take this one.
Okay, just to be opposite, I'm going to go with the OG Ueda. Just because it's a grappling, so I don't think there's going to be that much danger of Ueda getting knocked out. But hey, it is on the superior rule set, so we don't. What if Vinicius, if he channels inner Wanderlei Silva or Shogun Hua, you know what I mean, and gets a.
Yeah, this one's actually a deep prelim, so there's no superior rule set in this one. This one's only 2 rounds.
Oh, sorry. Oh, that's right, huh?
Yeah.
So it's not even. It's not even under the superior rule set.
Nope.
Oh, it's totally going to be a grappler fest. So. Yeah, I'm going to stick with my pick, Ueda. All right, let's move on to some better ones.
All right.
Oh, wait, no, it's next to kickboxing match, right?
Yeah, we got a couple more kickboxing matches. Next, we have Hiro Sasaki against Yuga Nakaya. Hiro Sasaki, he's 29 years of age, 3 wins, 3 losses. Apparently super popular on social media, hundreds of thousands of followers, despite him being a 3-3 fighter who has never fought in RIZIN before, only fights in Deep. He did get a win in his last fight, submission victory in the second round, but he's very much a win one, lose a couple, type of fighter. So has fought in the last few big deep impact shows. His last fight was just a little bit ago, actually. Just a couple weeks ago, fighting April 13th on the Deep Tokyo Impact show, where he got a heel hook finish, like I said. So very much a deep guy. Dare I even call him a veteran? He's only got 6 fights, but looking to get above 500, going up against a 22-year-old who is out of the Brave Gym, 1-1 as a pro. Won his last fight at the Deep 117 Impact in 2023. So I'm not sure if he was injured or if he just took some time to train since he was pretty young. He did go 2-1 as an amateur, and didn't fight in Deep as an amateur, but has had his first 2 pro fights in Deep. So 2 deep guys going at it. I'm going to go with Suzuki. I think he is a little bit more dangerous. He's got more finishes at the pro level, and obviously the pro level is just better than the amateur. More experience, and this is a little Brave Gym against a little Japanese top team or Japan top team where Suzuki trains out of. So I'm going with Suzuki.
All right, that's I'll go with the same guy. You're talking about the Deep fighter, right?
Yeah, well, they're both from Deep, but he's had a few more pro fights.
The one with all the followers on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah. The Japan top team guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with him. I'll go with him.
All right.
Cash it, and then let's move on. Is that the last kickboxing fight?
So we have an interesting one here with a little bit of a storyline. Next we have, are we strong or Yuza strong? Yoshia Yutsatsuyo, butchered his name, Yuza Strong, going up against Tao Asahisa. Asahisa, 27 years of age, Yuza Strong, 28. Both these guys talented kickboxers, but here's the storyline in this one. And shout out to the We Are RIZIN podcast. I did not know this. Well, Drew actually tagged me in this and then talked about it on the podcast. So he's the one who let me know what happened here. So apparently Yuza Strong actually works for Fuji TV and wanted to fight on this card. And there's a lot going on right now still with Fuji TV and their relationship with RIZIN and just MMA in general. So he was an employee of Fuji TV and wanted to get on this card. Fuji TV said if he fought on this card, allegedly, so from what I've heard, that he would lose. He wouldn't have a job to come back to if he fought on the RIZIN card. Furthermore, he said, "Fuck that! I'm fighting on the RIZIN card," and he reached out to RIZIN, I imagine, because he's not getting paid for this. He's not getting paid for this one, so he's literally fighting on this card someone as dangerous as Asahisa for free, and then he's fired. Then he doesn't have a job at Fuji TV to go back to. So like, what a badass, first of all. But like, yeah, 28 years of age, and he's not like some scrub. Now he's on a 4-fight losing streak, but he's been fighting in RIZIN in their kickboxing, on Rise cards, in Rebels. Like, he's been fighting for a little while, off and on, but for a little while against pretty good opponents, and he's solid. He's solid. Now, 4-fight losing streak, not active. I think because this was a big fight card, Tokyo Dome, big stage, like he wanted to get on it. So much so that like, boss, put me on the prelims and I will fight an absolute killer in Asahisa for free. And Asahisa is just that. Insane power, very accomplished kickboxer on a 2-fight win streak right now. He fought Yura on RIZIN Decade, beat him unanimous decision, beat Ryuka in Crush in October of 2024. Fought Yuki Yoza at K-Fest for the title, lost, but still had a really good fight against him. That went unanimous decision. He actually fought Yuki Yoza back-to-back, lost both of those fights, unanimous decision. And the first fight out of those two was actually in the K1 World Grand Prix 2022 Japan. He won the K1 World Grand Prix in 2021, and he's been fighting in K1 and Crush for most of his career. Asahisa is gonna beat the freaking Fuji TV cameraman, dude. As much as I'm rooting for Yuza, like, my God, dude, like you're gonna go out there and get knocked out for free. Now, look, guys, I'm gonna say I got absolutely cooked on my last RIZIN card picks and predictions. I believe I went 500, but like it was not good. So anything can happen. But yeah, I don't think he's going to be Asahisa. Asahisa it's not like he's like 35 years of age. Yeah, he's been in a lot of wars, but he's 27. He's still relatively young. He has been in a lot of wars, but I think he'll be able to make quick work of him.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to agree with you. I think Asahisa is going to just destroy Uza Strong. Unfortunately, I'm like you. I'm rooting for Uza Strong.
Oh yeah, like fucking badass story. And if I can bet on Uza Strong, I am 100% putting a couple bucks on him because I imagine. I think it's like near impossible to bet on kickboxing on RIZIN, but we'll see.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Asahisa. So same as you.
All right.
The heart wants Uza Strong to win, but the head's picking Asahisa, the better fighter. So
absolutely. All right. Next, we have Joe Hiromoto against Toki Tamaru. Now, we don't have odds for this, as you guys have been seeing or listening to.
Yeah, we're doing this show a little early.
Yeah, we're doing this show. We're recording. Yeah, we're recording Wednesday, and by the time we end recording, the odds are probably going to show up. Joe Hiromoto, Ren's little brother, 1-1 in mixed martial arts, 21 years of age. You know, has been around kickboxing, but I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, because you know more about the Hiromotos than I do, but like he hasn't like had a big career kickboxing or really a kickboxing career at all like Ren, right?
No, he's not even close to, but he's a little brother, right?
Yeah, like he's been around it, and I'm sure he's had some amateur fights and some gym fights, but professionally, he's 1-1 in mixed martial arts and had one amateur fight in mixed martial arts as well, which he lost in Gladiator. Won his first fight in RIZIN against a 3-1 guy who was very much a stand-up guy, I believe a kickboxing crossover as well. And when he went up against a guy with some grappling who was 0-1 in deep, he got armbarred at the Deep 120 or Deep 122 Impact show back in November. And he was armbarred in the first round. So if he's continued to work on his grappling, I mean, he has more experience than that of the kickboxing crossover Toki Tamaru, who is 96% of the Tapology voting right now, by the way. He's 23 years of age, so a couple years older, but a very accomplished kickboxer. Like fought in the Rise World Series last year for the title, but lost a decision. And before them was on a crazy win streak. It was a 2-4-6 7-fight win streak, 2 no contest funny mixed in there, but we're not going to count those. Where he got 3 first round knockouts in that run, as well as fought for Rise titles, has won Rise titles, and yeah, has just had a long career already in Rise, which is an amazing kickboxing organization. But he's a kickboxing crossover. This is mixed martial arts. It's not like Joe Hiromoto is a great grappler, even though he's more so.
Is he a kickboxing crossover as well? He's a kickboxing crossover as well, right? Doesn't he have a couple kickboxing fights, I thought?
Joe Hiromoto, like, I don't think professionally.
Oh, okay.
Like he might, but like not enough for Tapology to show them, not enough for like any other website. Like I said, probably some amateur fights, probably some like decently high level gym fights, but
you know what's happening? I'm getting confused with Tenshin's little brother.
Yeah, no, he's good. Like he's a I think he might have even won the champion in Rise, and he's also getting into mixed martial arts. But no, Joe Hiromoto, from my knowledge, doesn't have much kickboxing really experience other than just growing up around Ren and obviously like in the gym and things like that.
Yeah.
But having said that, in his I went back and watched his fights when he fought another kickboxing guy. He won. Doesn't necessarily have a lot of power. And that is something that his opponent does have. Like Tamaru can knock guys out. And even though I think Tamaru could do more damage in this one, and there's definitely a threat of the knockdown more often. This isn't a kickboxing fight. This is an MMA fight. Let's see if Joe Hiromoto can do more and still not take enough damage for the judges to give it to Tamaru. So like Tamaru very much could do more damage, but this being his first MMA fight, I'm going to bank on Hiromoto, who I imagine when the odds come out is going to be the underdog. I'm going to bank on him just having a little bit more of a well-rounded game, even though he's not as menacing, doesn't have as much power.
I agree 100%. It's going to come down to how good is Joe Hiromoto's takedown ability, and how good is Tamaru's takedown defense, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
Tamaru has been training apparently though a whole year.
Well, I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
But That, how does
But
that
I'm just saying, like,
translate into the ring?
say Joe Hiromoto hasn't really focused on his grappling much because he fought recently, like just a few months ago. So like, how much better is he gonna get going up against a 0-1 guy who out grappled him too, right? So it's like, there is a chance this guy could have just been like, look, I'm going into MMA. I don't need to train striking. I'm just gonna go ham grappling and still might have the edge. So like, I understand why he's seemingly going to be the favorite because he's got more power. And if he just focused on grappling for a year, he might already be at a higher level than Joe Hiromoto, who again has fought MMA, but he only has 2 fights or 3 fights. Sorry.
Yeah. You can't, don't forget the amateur belt.
Yeah. So again, I'm going with Joe Hiromoto, but like I'm swinging here. And if he's the underdog, I'm probably going to bet on him.
I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go with Joe Hiromoto just because he's got a little bit more in-ring experience for mixed martial arts. So that could, maybe he's learned a couple of tricks or two because, even in a loss, you learn some lessons in fighting, right? So he's been in combat already on a superior rule set. So he might, does he know the assignment? That's another factor. We don't know, So that is to me, that's the X factor. Does he know the assignment and can he get him to the ground? I'm going to go with Joe. And just because it's Tamaru's first fight under mixed martial arts rules, and sometimes, for kickboxing crossover, it's a little bit harder just to adjust to that. Even though you say he's been training for a year, that's great. That's great news. Hopefully he has been focusing on a lot of wrestling and grappling, takedown defense and all that, which I'm sure he has. But it's like, you cannot discount actual combat experience in the ring. You know what I mean? So I still want to pick Joe Hiromoto just for that little experience edge I'm going to give him.
Yeah.
In mixed martial arts.
No, for sure. All right. Next one. And again, bout order the official bout order is probably going to be a little bit different than what we're going off of here. But we got John Dodson, the return of the magician, against Takaaki Soya. This is a rematch, but in mixed martial arts. Their first fight was in bare knuckle. That's right, a BKFC. Or under, I guess, BKFC banner when they were doing their collaboration with RIZIN. John Dodson, by the way, just like, what a legend. 24-14, still fighting, right? Still fighting. 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Lost his last fight. He got Ogi Kubo'd, man. John Dodson, like, over the years, his takedown defense hasn't been anything spectacular, but with an original wrestling background and then developing his striking, early in his MMA rise, he's been able to fight wrestlers, but guys like Ogi Kubo, like, unless you're Horiguchi, you ain't gonna be able to defend, Ogi Kubo, his grappling, right? Like, he even got the better of Shinryu. Although that was a good competitive fight, he even got the better of Shinryu, the young rising star as well. So like, I don't blame Dodson for that one, or Dodson for that one. He didn't get finished. Like I said, he got essentially laid on for 2 rounds. Before then was on a 3-fight win streak against pretty decent guys, 18-2. Takoro was, he was old and we kind of expected him to get the knockout there. And then mixed in with a few BKFC fights between those MMA fights as well. It's looked good, man. It's looked good. In BKFC after fighting in XMMA, beat Ryan Benoit, again came into RIZIN, beat Takoro, knocked him out. Went back to BKFC, beat Jared Grant in the first round, then came back to the UFC and beat the 18-2 at the time Tatsuki Saomoto, which was an awesome win, beat him decision. Had a draw, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no. Then beat JR Ridge in BKFC. Anyways, it's he's had a good last stage of his career, right? His last fight was the BKFC fight against Takaaki Soya. And it was a really good fight. It was, dare I say, a war, and Soya's tough as nails, man. If it wasn't for him getting knocked down in the first 2 rounds, or in the early rounds, he was actually getting the better of Dodson as the fight went on in the later rounds and was doing a lot of damage himself. But because of those 10-8 rounds, how it's scored in BKFC, which I'm not contesting that. I think it's fair and I like that. Dodson was able to win that fight. So it's going to be very interesting to see this one in mixed martial arts. And Soya, 30 years of age, inactive, like Dodson is way more active than him, going back and forth with mixed martial arts and BKFC on a 2-fight losing streak. Came back after on a 2-fight losing streak in mixed martial arts. Obviously, his last loss was to Dodson back in July of 2024. Before then, lost to Tamirov, where like he had a couple moments in the first round before being finished, and then went the distance against Nakamura. Before then, was on a 3-fight win streak and does have some really good wins in his mixed martial arts career. Started off his career in Shuto and Gerbaka Live, and also a couple fights in Deep on a win streak, and has been kind of a staple in RIZIN for a while now. I'm going to bank on Dodson winning this one. I think he's going to come out high pace again, probably get the better of Soya on the feet in the first couple rounds. And if Soya, bites down on his mouthpiece, starts to walk forward and actually shows that he's a pretty polished striker in his own right, I do think Dodson can employ some of the grappling of his own and just mix this up a little bit more, because let's be honest, Soya is very much more of a striker, which is why like it was just such a perfect fight in BKFC, and why I think he would actually have a lot of success just fighting in bare knuckle. 9 KO TKOs, 0 submissions, 3 decisions for him, where you look at John Dodson and 11 knockouts, 2 submissions, 11 decisions. I want to say this though, okay? I know Soya's got power, and I know John Dodson's 40, but John Dodson's never been submitted and he's never been knocked out. So we're going with the magician here.
Yes, going with the American fighter. This is the first American fighter of the night. I absolutely love it. Also, this is at flyweight, and remember, there's a big flyweight Grand Prix coming up in July, they said, right? So could this be a sneak preview? Maybe this is a qualifier, about unofficial qualifier to get into that flyweight Grand Prix. And, I'm really excited about it, because I seriously think if John Dodson, I think he should be in the Grand Prix regardless.
Yeah, me too.
So this, I think, maybe is Soya's chance. If he puts on a good performance here and he beats him, he could be in the Grand Prix against him. So, and the reason they're doing this is because like you said, they just fought in BKFC, and it was a fantastic close match. If not for the knockdown, Soya would have probably taken it. So that's why they're doing the rematch, running it back here in mixed martial arts. And Dodson's still technically the BKFC flyweight champion, right? So, I mean, and could that collaboration still be going on? Who knows? I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, especially if the flyweight Grand Prix is announced and they allow Dodson to be in that flyweight Grand Prix. That'll take up pretty much the rest of the year for him. So to me, that's a good sign that the BKFC collaboration, or at least friendship, is still alive and strong. So that's this. I'm just really excited. This is this bout is going to be really one to watch for so many different storylines, in my opinion. And it's going to come down to, I think, Soya, like as we saw in the bare knuckle fight, the guy can actually go to war, and so can Dodson, obviously, and he's a striker first, like you're saying. So is he going to know the assignment? What if he rocks Dodson and he knows the assignment and follows up with a grounded kick, right? I mean, that could punch his ticket right there to the flyweight Grand Prix, in my opinion. So it's real interesting to see. But you know me, I'm never going to root against my American fighters ever. So I'm picking Dodson, and I'm rooting for Dodson.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, next fight here, we have Ersin Yamamoto up against Adachi Tomizawa. Now, Tomizawa in his mixed martial arts debut got a win, and in really good fashion, as well as he need Kotamura, and got the finish, got the knockout. And Kotamura was 2-1 at the time. He's a kickboxing crossover who lost in his RIZIN debut under the kickboxing banner, but has looked really good in Crush. And he's been really focusing on mixed martial arts as of late. Still has a lot to polish, but fully committed to MMA now, and has been for a little while. I'm kind of banking for him to keep this on the feet, because let's be honest, Ersin Yamamoto, one of the most inconsistent fighters in RIZIN at one point, or just in Japan, honestly, because, and I say this because at one point, like, he was a prospect. At one point, people were pretty high on him, saying, some of these losses are just like speed bumps. He's going to learn from these mistakes, but he's just been so incredibly inconsistent. He's been a little bit chinny. Though he can grapple and has some wrestling, he's been submitted 4 times, only has 2 knockout wins, and all of his losses have been either via submission or via knockout. He has been fighting good opponents though, and he got a win over Yuki Ito back in 2023. Since then, lost to Fukuda, which, no shame in that, and also Shibata, who's okay, maybe just a little shame in that. But he's going up against Tomizawa here, so which again on paper should be a cakewalk for him because of all his experience in mixed martial arts. But let's be honest, if Tomizawa keeps us on the feet, he's a way better striker. He's a way better striker because Ersin Yamamoto's like good everywhere, not great everywhere, but these days has just been bad everywhere, not good everywhere. So I feel like, unfortunately, Ersin Yamamoto might have to stink this one up. And hopefully, if he does take this to the ground, it's more of trying to employ some of the superior rule set, trying to employ some grounded knees versus just wet blanket. But I don't trust him to make the fight exciting. And I think if Ersin wins this fight or dominates this fight, it's going to be by a snooze fest, wet blanket. Having said that, I am banking on Tomizawa not putting us to sleep, keeping us awake, and knocking him the fuck out.
Yes. Oh, I love your enthusiasm. I actually hope that happens, but I'm gonna
another knee right to the jaw, followed by a couple fucking grounded kicks on his way down, man.
Yes. Right as Ersin's shooting for a takedown to try to spam takedowns, try to hump the leg or whatever.
Yeah.
He's gonna eat a knee and get some grounded kicks. That'd be prime.
Right. Tomizawa's gonna steal the nickname the Bad Man right from him. Be like, Bad Man, I just kicked you in the face, bitch. Let's go.
Unfortunately, I think Ersin's gonna just
wet blanket him.
Yeah, and hopefully, like you're saying, hopefully he employs a superior rule set. I mean, now that we're seeing 12-6 elbows in the UFC, I mean, shouldn't that send the signal to the wrestlers across the world? Hey, now that they're allowed in the UFC, you might as well use them when they've been allowed in the RIZIN the entire time. So, it's been part of the superior rule set this entire time is 12-6 elbows. So maybe we'll see some of those. Hopefully, if he tries to wet blanket, they'll be right there for him. So hopefully he knows the assignment. And, if he gets in a position where he can throw some ground and knees, hopefully see some Randleman-esque. I'm talking about Kevin the Monster Randleman, RIP. Kevin the Monster Randleman skyscraper knees. Hopefully he can see some of that. But we'll see. But yeah, I am picking Ersin Yamamoto. But I would like Tomizawa to win because he's a striker first. But
yeah,
I'm going to go with the grappler wrestler on this one.
All right, next we have Makoto Shinryu against Yuki Ito. Now, I love this matchup. The one thing that intrigues me, the one thing that I question is how much debt is Yuki Ito in right now? Did he already lose all of the Laramie winnings, paying up his debts, or just on the slots again? That is the question. Yuki Ito loves to gamble, as we know, and he was, and why I say that little tongue in cheek, he fought 4 weeks ago. And it was a brutal fight. I would say on the same card as Delpech and Suzuki, that fight, Tony Laramie, Canada, up against Yuki Ito, that was fight of the night. Arguably fight of the year in mixed martial arts until the Delpech and Suzuki fight. It was 100%. An absolute war, dude. And though like Yuki Ito rightfully won and got the better of Laramie, he got they beat the shit out of each other. So 4 weeks, and I love Japan, but insane turnaround for how much damage he took despite winning. And I love that he's earned this matchup against Makoto Shinryu. It's not like Ito is long in the tooth. He's only 28 years of age, an impressive 18-5, and at one point he was pretty close to 500, if I'm not mistaken, and then went on an absolute run after losing to Ersin Yamamoto, beat Kondo. Well, who hasn't? I mean, he went to split decision with him, so geez, man, you couldn't knock out Kondo. Come on now. But anyways, beat Kondo, beat Kiram, beat Ueda, beat Hung Lee, then beat Tony Laramie, and honestly looked better than ever
Yeah.
against Tony Laramie, because Jung Hyun Lee, honestly, not that great. Ueda, experience, so I'll give him that. Kiram, he's okay. I think Kondo's awful, so I don't really rate that one at all. But like, again, he didn't look too dominant in all of those. Other than the Jung Hyun Lee, which again, he's just not that good. I saw him in Road FC have a fight recently as well, and like, he's popular there, but like, he showed that he's still at a high level. And right now on Tapology, 67% are picking Ito to win. So like, I'm hoping, guys, I'm hoping that on the screen he is the underdog, because if he comes out right away as the underdog, or sorry, if Shinryu comes out as the underdog right away, like, smash that, dude.
Yeah,
Smash it, because people have recency bias based on the Laramie fight, and they don't understand that though Ito has fought for a while, his grappling is not even in the same stratosphere as that of Makoto Shinryu, whose striking has gotten a lot better. Like, and I don't think Shinryu is just going to stand there in the pocket like Laramie did and just go to town, right? He's going to pitter patter in and out of the pocket on the outside to look for, the takedown, right? Or to pin you in the corner, try to get the back take. Makoto Shinryu is still a very good prospect, or maybe at this point, at 24 years of age, just a good fighter. 18-4-1 as a pro. Doesn't have a knockout win, doesn't have a knockout loss. 5 submissions, 13 decisions. 1 loss via submission, 3 losses via decision. 4-3 in RIZIN. 1-1 no contest in Bellator. He was the former Cage Fury FC champion as well, defeating Diego Paiva back in 2022. And at that time, he was the Deep and Cage Fury champion, Cage Fury FC champion. His only losses recently were to Shorty Torres in a razor close decision. And Shorty Torres is no joke. That was a fucking awesome fight. So, like, good opponent, right? Good opponent. Ogi Kubo, good opponent. And Horiguchi, right? Like, those are his only, like, his last loss before them was a title fight in 2018. And he won the deep belt twice and the Cage Fury FC belt, and his striking has just gotten better. So I think this one is going to go to Makoto Shinryu. I think he finds the back before even the third round, and I think he submits Ito. I think even if Ito hits you, it's gonna fucking hurt. Is Ito's boxing way better? Right? It is. Like, he is the better striker, but Shinryu's just the way more well-rounded fighter, and he's gonna have the better game plan. I just don't think Ito's gonna be as sharp either, man. I'm sorry. You go to war like that 4.5 weeks later. Like, Shinryu has been in a longer camp. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's a small camp, 4 weeks, let alone a turnaround time. So, like, even if he's okay, like, you didn't prepare for Shinryu's grappling.
Yeah,
you didn't,
yeah.
Bro. He's wasting money on the slots.
Yeah, he's got to pay the pachinko bet or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? That's interesting. That 76% or 67% picked him on Tapology. That shows how popular of a fighter he is. And it shows
recency bias too, and that's why I'm hoping
Exactly.
I'm hoping Shinryu comes in as the underdog coming off a loss. That's free money in my opinion.
Because look, they're both great fighters. To me, this is a preview of the Flyweight Grand Prix right here. This is the type of matchups that we can expect in that Flyweight Grand Prix right here. This might even be, I could see both these guys being in the Flyweight Grand Prix.
Yeah, we might see the rematch in the Flyweight Grand Prix.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And especially if what we're hoping is going to happen, which is they're going to make the Flyweight Grand Prix be a 16-man Grand Prix. So, if that's the case, then both these guys should be in it. Because Ito is clearly popular. And even with the recency bias of that incredible, it was a Fight of the Year candidate. Yeah, absolutely. With Canada, Laramie just doing fantastic. It takes two to make a fight. Fantastic.
Yeah, he lost, but like he fucking. You got to imagine that Barra likes that style. Like, this motherfucker Absolutely. Just walks forward and just keeps throwing, like bites down his mouthpiece and keeps throwing.
I 100% expect him, but Laramie to be in the Flyweight Grand Prix as well, just based on that performance. Even though it was a loss, it was that good. So
yeah, well, like in Japan, it's different. You put on a good performance, and like they will keep you.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you just suck like Kondo, and they still keep you. So he's bad.
They love it when you put on a fantastic performance like that. So they'll be for sure bringing back Laramie 100%.
He's like his brother has the same mentality, but his brother is a good boxer as well, but is a way better grappler. So it's like they're total opposites in how they fight.
Yeah, and that's a good point because you're bringing up the grappling. you're 100% right about Shinryu is going to have the better grappling of Ito. And if the odds follow the Tapology recency bias, dude, you're 100% correct, Aisha. That is if Makoto Shinryu is an underdog in this, that is the livest dog on the entire card right there. Because I mean, that's almost free money. You know, of course, anything could happen, especially when you're fighting on the superior rule set. You know, you never know who's going to know the assignment, and you know, it's just a game changer. As we saw, I mean, I love it when you give the UFC, the pussified UFC shit for whenever there's something that happens where it could easily have been, you know, a boring decision fest card could easily have been livened up by superior rule set, some ground kicks or something. So this is a complete game changer. So, you know, there's no guarantees is what I'm trying to say, but I mean, Shinryu would be the livest dog on this whole card if he is underdog. So I'm picking Shinryu because that's like you said, just better grappling and he now I think you're right. I think he can be moved out of the prospect territory into just a good fighter. He's had plenty of fights now, challenged some very good fighters, and has only lost a really great fight. And you're talking about Shori Torres, that's another one I'm hoping comes back for the flyweight Grand Prix.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it seems like Brave is pretty chill with him going and fighting in RIZIN, so.
Yeah, 100%.
Because he's under contract with Brave, but they're kind of like they're a fighting federation as well, right? They're not a
yeah,
kind of like a bound. You're bound under our contract.
Absolutely, yeah, and you know they should, and if they bring him, they should highlight that for the flyweight Grand Prix. Like, hey, this is a Brave FC fighter coming over here into the you know into the superior rule set with. I mean, and just highlight the collaboration with Brave. I just think is fantastic, especially like a couple other fighters like you know Mokaev and all these other guys that are with Brave right now. So it's just great to see. I love the collaboration, but yeah, I mean Shinryu to me, I mean. You know, he's probably one of the top flyweights in the Epic RIZIN right now. So I just think that he's like you said, just be too well rounded for him. But again, anything could happen. The superior rule says so I don't want to count out Ito because he did. I mean, he's on a fantastic. That was probably one of the best performances of his career.
Oh yeah,
and,
yeah, he was dialed. He was dialed in.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, and if he's still, I know it's a quick turnaround, but I mean. Dude, he looked fantastic. So it's a great fight. I love this fight, but I just got to go with Shinryu, just the more well-rounded fighter, and just man, and he's growing into that man body, you know, with man strength. So he's not a prospect anymore. So it just,
he needs just a little bit of steroid, just a little bit of steroid, Stan, just a little bit of steroid.
Just give him a little bit of test, just a little bit of test him up a little bit.
It's like in that South Park episode with the medicinal fried chicken. I just need a little bit of cancer stain. Just a little bit of steroid stain. Just a little bit of steroid.
Just a drop in the Olympic pool. I'll get it done. Right?
Yeah. All right, let's get to this next one. And this next one, there it is. My favorite fighter, Hiroya Kondo against Tatsuki Shinotsuka. Oh man, so Rude Boy is one of those that I just love to watch, right? A kickboxing crossover who's fallen in love with the bare knucks as well. He's also fought in boxing where he went 3-1 as a pro boxer, but has primarily been a kickboxer under Rise and K1's Crush. He also fought in the K1 Grand Prix in 2023, and he actually won a Crush title in 2023 as well before coming over to RIZIN and fighting in bare knucks and modified small gloves kickboxing rules in RIZIN as well. His last two wins have been first round knockouts, one with the bare knucks, one with the small gloves, and he is just an absolute savage when it comes to striking. I don't know if he has a lick of takedown defense. I hope he does, because Kondo has been no stranger to just, you know, shooting for double legs and staying in your guard and just doing nothing. On the feet, I think Kondo's still pretty chinny, and though his stance and form is good, like he's just very bouncy on the feet, but doesn't have the best accuracy. And on the feet, I think that Shinotsuka like near murders him if he hits him with a shot. Like I think he knocks him out bad. So I think Kondo will have to employ the ground game here to win this one. He does have 3 submissions in his MMA career. He does have 3 knockouts, and he has 4 decisions. He's lost 11 decisions, 1 submission, 1 KO TKO. Has just, throughout his career, not been able to employ as much damage on his opponents, especially if the fight has stayed on the feet and he's been able to do better. If Shinosuke keeps this on the feet, or if Kondo invites Shinosuke to fight MMA on the feet, I think that in my notes I have here, rest in peace, Hiroya. So I am banking on Shinosuke catching Kondo, because I think if he does catch him, and this is a fight, at least 1 strike is probably going to land. If that 1 strike lands clean, it's good night.
Yeah, I love your analysis. I mean, I see the.
I also just can't stand Kondo.
Yeah, but you always do such great intros and fantastic. I mean, there's not really much more to say. I mean, it's just look at you got 2 pages full of notes.
Yeah,
completely.
it's insane.
Dude, that's awesome. Man, you're fantastic, Aisha. But this, I love Rude Boy as well, Shinosuke. I mean, the whole, he was part of the BKFC collaboration. Hopefully, that's still continuing.
And he's a Black Rose guy too, right?
Exactly. Yes. So he's part of that. That's probably one of the reasons why he was on this card, is because Ren Hiromoto is like the head of Black Rose, right? So.
And Sina's part of that group too now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honorary member, but hey, he's here to stay apparently. So
we got some Black Rose guys on here,
fighting guys 40 pounds lighter than him, but what?
Yeah, we'll get to that one. That's the genuine freak show fight you're talking about there. Yeah. That's later on tonight. A real life David and Goliath bout. This is gonna be awesome. But anyways, back to this one. I love Rude Boy and the Shinosuke. He's just a man. That BKFC fight he had, a BKFC collaboration fight, was fantastic. Remember, before he got injured, he was supposed to fly over to the States.
Yeah, he was supposed to fight.
Be part of Knucklemania.
Yeah, which would have been awesome.
Here. So, and hopefully that's still going to happen in the future. We'll see what happens. And, it just, I think he's going to pull it off here. And
throw some ice skates on him and he can go fight in Ice Wars. Let's go.
I know, right?
Dude, Brian Kelleher's fighting in Ice Wars, and I was asking my chat, I was like, does he know how to skate? And they're like, he does now, bitch. Like, yeah, so Boom Boom Kelleher is going to be on Ice Wars, which is hilarious.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, he's a great fighter, man. Just a lot of fun to watch. So I'm definitely rooting for Shinosuke. And I even though I don't hate Kondo like you do, but he is kind of a popular fighter. So
I don't know why, but
I know, right? So this is going to be probably one of the for the Japanese fans at least, one of the more popular fights of the night. But on a card loaded with them. I mean, There's so many. This card is fantastic, bro. It's just great. But yeah, I'm picking Shinosuke because he's striker first, and remember the X factor, the superior rule set. If he rocks him, there's anything could happen if he knows the assignment. We can see a flying stomp, KO, grounded kick, whatever. It's going to be awesome. So, and hopefully after he wins, then they can still do the BKFC collaboration and send him over here to the States, and I can see him maybe do another Knucklemania here in LA and have him fight there, so I can go and watch in person.
Absolutely. Speaking of stomps, the next fight, we have Daisuke Nakamura, who is still fighting at 44 years of age. He participated in the deep flyweight Grand Prix, but lost to Hiroto Gomio a month ago. Went the distance with him and actually was coming back in the 3rd round. Got mount, was going for some submissions, then got reversed. Gomio got on his feet and jumped on his face. Double foot stomped on the 44-year-old's face multiple times, followed by 2 soccer kicks. And you know what? Credit to him. Nakamura survived, man. Survived until the bell, and it went to a decision, 3 rounds. It was unreal to almost see his comeback, then to almost see, well, not even almost see, then to witness elder abuse before our eyes, free on YouTube for the world to see.
And he survived. I thought that was impossible.
Yeah, and he survived. He survived,
that's they're illegal. That's why they're illegal, right?
And a month later, going up against Sakuraba Jr., who is 1-0 as a pro, shocked the world knocking out Yachi as easy as he did, because Yusuke Yachi is no joke, right?
Yeah,
And he knocked him out so easy. I'll say it was a little bit more of Yachi being a little too aggressive and kind of messing up there, but credit where credit is due to Sakuraba, who obviously had a wrestling background. And what's interesting is, a wrestling background, more new age for sure, but under his dad's tutelage, where his dad actually trained in the same, gym and shoot wrestling style that Nakamura, like, to this day still trains. And so, like, I wonder if Nakamura is going to come out in a Speedo again. No, I don't know what the traditional word is, but what, he still wears like that cross between like friggin' pro wrestling underwear and like the sumo, right? Because he still lives in the pro wrestling. Like, dude, no joke, in the flyweight Grand Prix fight, he had the high black friggin' socks or tape, and and his like Ken Shamrock looking Speedo bottom freaking underwear. It was hilarious, and I'm just like, yeah, you do you, buddy. You're still living in freaking the 90s.
Hey, are we all? I love the 90s.
Yeah.
That was my era.
Anyways, 34-28 as a pro, legend in the sport for sure. Multiple time deep champion, right? He fought a lot in deep back in the day. Fought in Dream, fought in M1, fought in K1. I mean, fighting Nexus. I mean, he's been around forever, man. And though he's on a 4-fight losing or a 6-fight losing streak right now, he looked competitive against Gomio. He hasn't been fighting the best guys recently. He went over to Black Combat and lost to Chanso Park, but again, decision. He's been going the decision. He only has one loss via ground and pound, and that was at Black Combat Rise 05 back in October. Came back for a pretty quick turnaround in March to fight Gomio, and again, almost had a comeback. Having said all that, I do think Sakuraba is going to win this one. He's younger. He's got a wrestling background as well. He's just a younger, stronger athlete at this point, and he's clearly got power as well. So though Nakamura surprisingly is durable with all the fights he's been in and being 44 years of age, he still can get cracked, right? So yeah, I'm going with Sakuraba Jr.
100% cash that for Sakuraba Jr. I mean, he's like you said, he's the younger, better. You know what it is? This is because Nakamura is a durable fighter, like you're saying, like you're illustrating so brilliantly in that synopsis right there. And they want to see what Saku Jr. is made of. They want to see Saku Jr. taken into the later rounds.
It's just so funny because like they put him against Yachi, who's like Yachi could be fighting like mid to top level guys just because like he has that experience. And not to say the step back in competition, because I don't want to disrespect Nakamura, but like it's a fucking step back. It's like it's a textbook Japanese style. Like Dana White wouldn't even be this savage, man. Like this is a 1-0 fighter. Like Dana White ain't putting Bo Nickel up against, who's an older guy in the division. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, 100%. That was
Jared Cannonier. He's not putting Bo Nickel up against Jared Cannonier in his second fight, right?
Because they wanted to give Saku. You know how they like testing their they throw them right into the fire, sink or swim. Either you're going to get taught a lesson or you're going to get a spectacular finish.
So now they're just
exactly
like, okay,
Saku Jr. got.
Yeah. You went up against Yachi, you proved yourself. Now you're going to get an easier matchup. So,
but against a durable guy who is this guy, is you're probably not going to be able to knock him out unless you get like Rockman use superior rule set, or So what they're trying to do, they're trying to put him up against somebody that's a winnable fight for him, but is a durable fighter that can really see what he's made of. Because that's what they want for the Yachi fight. They wanted Yachi to. I think they want Yachi to teach him a lesson.
Sakuraba's gonna be so much bigger than him too. Like it's
right. Yeah, I mean, it's trust me. It's a fight to see where Sakuraba's at. Should try to get him into the second and third round to see what he's made of and see what he can do. See if he's got a gas tank, all that good stuff. So it's and to get him some ring experience time. So it's gonna be. Just cash for Saku.
Yeah. He's gonna get the win. He's gonna get the win. All right.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see the walkout. Hopefully his dad's gonna be there with the walkout. Have the classic Sakuraba mask, the classic Sakuraba song entrance song. Got Lenny Legend on the mic announcing Sakuraba again. It's gonna be great. So
hell yeah.
That's something to watch for too.
All right. Next, this one is either going to be a really unpolished, sloppy, and fun kickboxing match, or it's going to be an absolute snooze fest wrestling affair with Danny Sabatello taking on Shinobu Ota. Both of them are very, very good wrestlers, right? Danny Sabatello talks so much shit only to hug his opponent for 3 to 5 rounds every single fight. Ota, super cheerful guy, doesn't talk any shit, only hugs his opponent for 3 to 5 rounds. Well, 3 rounds because he's never fought 5 rounds before as well. Both of them incredible athletes. Ota, obviously silver medalist at the Olympics. 7-4 as a pro in mixed martial arts. His wins have not come against the best guys, though. Let's be perfectly honest. He took on Yuki Motoya in his last fight. Motoya made easy work of him. Just kind of just showed that like Ota's jiu-jitsu has a long way to go. On the feet, like his boxing is getting better, but like he's very much a pressure wrestler. He gets some good takedowns. His ground and pound is getting better, but like again, he was Ashizawa on the ground, man. Like anyone who takes Ashizawa to the ground, you're gonna beat him. You're gonna beat him on the ground because he's a kickboxer. Danny Sabatello, 14-4-1 as a pro. He needs to get back in the win column, man, because he's 1-3-1 in his last 5 fights. Lost to Lazaro Dayron. Well, I guess it was a split draw, and honestly, I thought Sabatello did enough to win that one. But again,
he had some real questionable decisions where it was like,
well, the Rufian Stotts, I think he won that one. There was like one rogue judge who gave it to him, which I don't understand. Magomedov, got submitted in that one. Beat Marcos Breno via submission, which was a good one. And even the split decision against Rufian Stotts, like it was the first one. I still think Stotts won that fight. It's just the thing about Sabatello is like he'll rack up control time. He'll throw takedown after takedown after takedown, but he does not do any damage.
Yeah, but
damage.
What was frustrating is for those decisions you're talking about, where like the split decision and the ones I was talking about where probably should have gone to Sabatello, he got robbed. They weren't scoring the takedowns for whatever. Takedowns are supposed to score. Doesn't matter if he doesn't land strikes. I mean, that's can negate the control time or whatever.
Yeah, but the thing is though, but if his opponent at that point even lands a little bit of damage, they're going to go with the little bit of damage over the guy who had the opportunity to do damage and didn't.
I guess I just I thought it was unfair.
I think the last fight was unfair. Don't get me wrong, but like I'm sorry, Danny. Like at this point, with all this, as much experience as he has, like. You know what's losing you the fights right now. Throw a couple elbows in there, bud. You know what I mean? Throw a couple elbows in there. He was a winner. He was a
rule set. The 12-6 elbows. We better see some superior rule set out of him. We better see.
Yeah.
I mean, he better know the assignment here and throw some 12-6 elbows and some grounded knees.
Well, dude, but look at this, right? He won on Dana White Contender Series. Too boring. Didn't get the contract. Goes to Titan FC. Beats Damon Blackshear for the title. Like he's talented. He's talented.
He's a good fighter.
I think sometimes it's between the ears, right? Sometimes it's between the ears.
He just wants to grapple and go for the submission, and he's just got to get. It's like the Ben Askren syndrome. Remember Ben Askren?
Ben Askren even had more killer instinct in him than Danny Sabatello.
Well, we're gonna find out in this fight because, like you said, Ota is an Olympic silver medalist wrestler. Okay, he's got excellent takedown defense, excellent everything in grappling. So Danny Sabatello, if he wants to take him down, he's going to have to really work and show some tricks in his book, like tricks in his bag, like, what has he got, some trips or whatever. He's going to have to work to get him to the ground and to keep him on the ground. So if he does, he can't just be a wet blanket in this fight. He's got to throw some strikes, or else he's going to waste. I mean, Ota is not going to just sit there.
No, Ota will throw knees, right? Ota will advance position, throw elbows, throw knees. Like, Ota's not high level, and I feel like he's pretty like. Well, he's still very elementary in like what he does, but he doesn't stall. He doesn't lay and pray. He's still like more violent on the ground. Now, having said all this, if neither of them can take each other down, Sabatello is the better striker on the feet and probably will get this one done. So I'm going with Sabatello just because I think he's just the better fighter all around. I think he's the better MMA wrestler. I think he's the better striker. But if he fights like Danny Sabatello, dude, in his last 8 wins, he's got 6 decisions, right? If he fights like that, Sabatello, Ota might beat him based on the damage, the areas in the fight where Ota does damage, even if Danny Sabatello lays on him longer. And if this is moot as far as they just can't control each other, I don't think Ota's boxing is going to be as good as Sabatello. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm giving the slight edge to Sabatello, even though Sabatello is the way better fighter.
Yeah, and I think Ota, he has some superior rule set finishes.
Like he's used to the grounded knees, right? Like he tries. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was just saying. Like he actually tries to employ those. Let's see if Sabatello does as well.
And you know, I'm rooting for Sabatello here because of course he's an American fighter. I think it's a very high profile signing for them. He has a chance to, you know, especially if he. To me, I think this might be an unofficial title eliminator. I think the winner of this bout right here could be challenging for the 135-pound title. I really do. I really do. And both these fighters are good enough. I mean, but I really think that the grappling is going to cancel each other out because they're both excellent grapplers. And, you know, it's going to come down to the striking. Who knows the assignment? Who's going to employ the superior rule set? Is Daniel Sabatello going to take advantage of this new rule set, the superior rule set? Or is he going to leave it up to Ota to be the only one to do that? I think whoever lands the more spectacular strikes is going to win here. And to me, I mean, this is really a toss-up. It's going to be fantastic to see what the actual odds are. Mm-hmm. And it probably should be an even bout, to be honest with you. It probably should be even on both sides. And because, you know, you cannot discount Ota being an Olympic silver medalist. That is not easy to do. And every bout that he's been in, his grappling is always better than the other fighter. But this one, Sabatello, that's his strength, is his grappling. So it's going to be real interesting to see how he deals with it. I love this bout.
Yeah, it's either going to be like high level or it's going to look a lot like the Stotts fights. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, remember, those were not... The X factor. You gotta remember the X factor in this one is superior rule set.
Well, and ring versus cage too. So they're gonna be in the corner. They're gonna be in the corners a lot. Which will be
right. And
interesting.
Does Sabatello have any tripping abilities? Does he have any? You know what I mean? Little stuff like that. It's just gonna be real interesting to see. I can't wait. And Sabatello, is gonna be running out the mouth and talking trash and just. And if he wins, he's going to get on the mic. I guarantee he's going to be all loud up and say, hey, you know what? Who the fuck is your 135-pound champion? Give me him right now. It's going to be awesome. I just can't wait.
Yeah.
And I'm rooting for him because he's American.
If he gets watch him get a knockout, then it's like a full reign to just go nuts and be as disrespectful as possible. But like, I'm sorry, if you win a decision in boring fashion, like you better just be like, thanks for having me here. Can't wait to fight the next guy because you got no business going full. I will kill you on the mic, and then doing the whole like freaking Manel cap in his last fight.
No, but trust me, this one I really don't see it. I don't think it's going to be boring because, like I said, I don't think either fighter is going to be allowed the other one to do the wet blanket routine.
Yeah, well, I hope the refs are ready to separate them like they do in deep.
The ring corner stalling is what I like to call it. When they stall the corner.
Deep does an even better job than RIZIN in separating guys quickly. Like deep, in deep it's almost too much. Like sometimes they're like literally elbowing each other. And it's like not violent enough. And it's like, wait, what? Like I was literally elbowing him in the face. No, not violence enough. We need the 12-6, baby. But anyways,
yes.
Let's get to the next one.
All right, okay, yeah. So picking Dama Sabatello. Rooting for the American fighter, the PFL Bellator crossover. Man, it's going to be exciting. I can't wait. But remember, Ota's very good, so this is a pick'em fight, either or. So, and the winner, it could be unofficial title eliminator. So there's so many great storylines in this one. But let's go next belt.
All right, we got two prospects, two good striking prospects going up against each other. Here we got Ryo Takagi against Kyoma Akimoto. Now, Akimoto, a very, very good prospect, lost to Yuki Motoya in a title eliminator in his last fight, and in fairness to him, went the distance with Motoya and actually had some moments in that fight before Motoya did what Motoya does best and grapple. And like Motoya almost won the title in his last fight as well. The King of Deep, like no shame in getting your first loss to like a veteran and dare I say like a legend of Japanese mixed martial arts right now or soon to be. And Akimoto's good, man. Akimoto's grappling has gotten a little bit better. His strength continues to develop. Like every fight's like, oh, he's getting stronger and stronger. He's not that string bean, 17-year-old that we saw rip up deep, right? 4 KO TKOs, 1 submission, 2 decisions, 3-0 in deep, 2-1 in RIZIN. Beat Hirori Suzuki, beat Yuto Hokamura, which was a huge win for him. Beat Alan Yoshihiro in Fighting Agent War, and also beat Taguchi via 44-second knockout in deep as well. Did he beat the best guys in deep? No, but he was like 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 in deep before he took a huge step up of competition against a guy who had over 30 fights and then a guy with over 25 fights. And then like a huge step up to Motoya where he had moments in this one. So like I am still very impressed with what I saw from Akimoto. I know a lot of people were just like ripping on him in my RIZIN chat, and it was like he's 19 years of age. Anyways, he's very well-rounded, dangerous on the feet, going up against more of a primary striker in Ryo Takagi, who is 8-2 as a pro, 4-1 in his last 5 on a 2-fight win streak right now. He's 25 years of age, 6 knockouts, right? He's never been knocked out, 6 knockouts, so he's got power, 1 submission, 1 decision. He's fast. He's got fast striking, loves those straight shots, 2-1 in RIZIN, dominated Pancrase where he was 6-1 there. And fought some really good guys. It's not like he would just lose when he took step up in competition. He did lose to Suguru Ni. He lost to Kolsnik, who's a very good fighter. He's 23, 4-1. But he's also gone the distance against guys that he probably should have beaten, quite handedly as well. He beat Hagiwara in his last fight, which I thought he would. He beat Nishitani as well at RIZIN 46. Winnable fights. He knocked them out, or he finished them. Rear naked choke against Hagiwara, knockout against Nishitani. So like he knew the assignment, he got it done. But I do think that Akimoto is just, like I said, overall better. He's a little bit taller. He's a little bit lankier. I really don't think that Takagi's faster than Akimoto. So I just think Akimoto's better everywhere. Like maybe he doesn't have the exact same straight power, but very, very little caveat. So I think Akimoto probably takes this one, maybe even submission or like ground and pound TKO.
Yeah, and remember Akimoto's debut, which got me to dub him the RIZIN Prince.
Yeah,
Prince Akimoto, is that he scored a superior rule set finish in his RIZIN debut in a fight where he was against a guy that was much more experienced, much older, had all the things that had fought on the big stage before. And as his big stage debut, and he comes out with a performance like that, that's to me that's the RIZIN Prince right there.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully he gets back on the winning streak in this one, and he continues that trajectory going to rising to the top here. And just man, I can't wait to see what. Hopefully he remembers the assignment, because remember his last fight where he lost, it's like he forgot the assignment or something. So hopefully he remembers the assignment, harkens back to his first bout, throws a superior rule set, gets a fantastic finish, and continues his ascent up to stardom for RIZIN Prince Kiyomi Akimoto.
You have him to win?
Yes, I'm picking him to win. Cash it.
Hell yeah, let's go. All right. Next fight here, we have Kyohei Hagiwara against Taisei Nishitani. We were just talking about both these guys in the last breakdown there. Now, Hagiwara wanted to fight Mikuru on this one, all right? So he wanted to fight Mikuru Asakura on this card, obviously didn't get his wish, instead got Mikuru Light in one of the Japan top team guys here in Taisei Nishitani. Kyohei Hagiwara, 29 years of age, still under 500 when it comes to his record, but 2-3 in his last 5 fights and had a very good performance against Tobi Misech. I thought Misech was going to come in and have a way better performance. He ends up getting, knocked the fuck out early. He gets finished early by Hagiwara, who, still has some gas left in the tank. 6 KO TKOs. He racked up another one in that last fight. 7 losses via submissions, though. 7 losses via submissions. But let's be honest here, J Wolf, Nishitani ain't gonna submit Hagiwara because Hagiwara is way more well-rounded than that of Nishitani. Hagiwara's gone 7-8 in a RIZIN. And before his loss to Misedge was actually taking on good opponents in Ishiku, Takeda, and Tagaji, with 3 decent guys in his division. Nishitani 6-8 as a pro, 2-3 in his last 5 on a 3-fight losing streak. 28 years of age. He's out of Japan top team. Went 6-6 in deep. Never has knocked anyone out. Does have 4 submission, but has 2 submission losses himself, and has only gone to decision 5 times. On a 2-fight losing streak, losing via submission and first round knockout. He does fight some kickboxing, and he's fought in breaking it down as well, but most of his career has been in deep, where he's kind of been up and down his whole career, similar to that of Hagiwara, but I think Hagiwara just is more dangerous overall, so I'm picking him to win.
Yeah, you say you pick Hagiwara to win, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's Hagiwara is one of their, for whatever reason, I know his record doesn't show it, but he's a very popular fighter in Japan. Very popular fighter. That's why he was even in the running to be facing Mikuru to begin with. But it's just, his recent record, he's not even back up to 500 yet. So that's why.
Yeah, I couldn't sell it.
Chihiro. So, but I mean, he could earn that fight. With a couple more wins, he'll be right there. Could be facing Mikuru. If Mikuru doesn't retire, that is a very, that's a great matchup for him right there. So, and also, I have a soft spot for Hagiwara because the very first cage event that RIZIN did was called RIZIN Trigger First. And Hagiwara just absolutely put the cherry on top of that. He cherried that event with an absolutely sensational sensational grounded kick. Excuse me. Sensational grounded kick KO that was just absolutely cherried that event. And just, man, it was so fun. So I got a soft spot for Hagiwara. He's, like I said, he's an excellent striker. He needs to work on his grappling. That's his main weakness. So if Nishitani, if he's got any grappling, I mean, it could be a problem for Hagiwara, but I don't think so. I think Hagiwara's got his grappling shored up good enough to beat Nishitani here, and he's gunning for that Mikuru fight. Even though he didn't get it on this card right here, I almost guarantee you if he wins, he's going to get on the mic and he's going to talk some shit to not Hagiwara. If Hagiwara gets on the mic, he's going to talk some shit to Mikuru and possibly set up that fight for a future event. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Hagiwara can do. We know he knows the assignment, so I want to see him put that assignment into play here and get us another sensational spear rule set finish.
Yeah.
Catch up for Hagiwara.
Yeah, we're on the same page. Let's move on to the next one, which is the freak show fight. We have Sina Karimian against Koji Kuzi Tanaka. What the fuck, RIZIN?
I love it. You don't love this one?
It's just, I'm not opposed to it. I'm just still confused.
This is the freak show fight for one of their big flagship events. This is the freak show fight of there, and it's going to be awesome. It's a true David versus Goliath bout.
Yeah, because Cena's getting up there in age. He's a slower striker, but he's fought as high as heavyweight, and light heavyweight is where he hovers around, whereas Kuzi's 135 pounds. And there's not like there's a catch weight for this one, but I do think I don't think Sina can fight at heavyweight. Like, I think he has to go to again, don't quote me on this, but somewhere around 205, 210. Like, I don't think he can.
Yeah, no. There's there's a, it doesn't even say on Tapology, unfortunately.
No,
but there's a limit.
Yeah, there is a limit there. There is a limit there. Kuzi will be able to wear 8-ounce gloves. Sina will be wearing 12-ounce gloves. It is a boxing match, but it is a pro boxing match. However, if it goes the distance, it is deemed a draw. I believe that was confirmed. So it's not quite exhibition, but it's kind of somewhere in the middle between pro and exhibition. It will count on their record, but it's one of those weird ones, kind of like what Sina was involved in with Anpo, saving that Ryan Garcia bout. Anyways, Kuzi recently on the run, but is back. Apparently crashed into a lamppost and ditched his freaking sports car recently.
He pulled a John Jones instead of a pregnant.
Yeah, hit a pole, not a pregnant woman. So that's good. You know what? Fuck it. For those who don't know, like Sina, longtime kickboxer, fought in K1 for years. You know, primarily in K1 Persian, but trains out of Japan. I mean, K1 champion, Grand Prix champion back in the day. And has still remained active. Now, he hasn't won a fight since 2023. He did fight in the K1 World Max against Si Liu, where he got knocked out in kind of interesting fashion. And that's just the thing. Sina, like, interesting fashion recently in a lot of his fights. Has literally walked out of the cage out of the ring a couple times in protest in like K1. Near took the ref's head off against Anpo. Went to Glory and some fuckery happened there as well. Literally just in the beginning of April, right? Where he lost a decision as well. So talk about a quick turnaround. I got Kuzi winning.
Nice.
I got Kuzi winning via disqualification because Sina picks a fight with the ref and gets disqualified, and Kuzi wins via Sina disqualification. That is legitimately in my notes. That is my pick.
Nice. I love it. Well, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go pick Sina on this one because he's just going to be too big, too strong, even with
but he's not
bigger
fast.
gloves.
Kuzi's going to duck under and get near the ref. Sina's going to be hit the ref. Ref's going to be pissed. Kuzi's going to push the ref into Sina. Sina's going to hit the ref again, maybe even elbow him. And it's just going to be pure chaos.
Yeah, did they have that same Iron Shin ref that
they better put him in, dude? But RIZIN, they will put him in. That's how they work. They're gonna put him in. They have to.
They have to, right? It has to be that. And
dude, Kuzi's 5'8" for those who don't know, and Sina's 6'7". Like, could you imagine if this was a kickboxing fight? Sina could just teep kick him out of the ring.
Yeah. Dude, go look at the face-off photos.
It's hilarious.
The press conference.
It's hilarious.
It's a true David versus Goliath
over
fight.
Under how many fouls?
Oh, at least. I'll set at 2. We're gonna at least 3 fouls.
Okay, so see, I set it at 6.5.
Yeah. You think Sina's gonna be able to reach all the way down for a headbutt on him?
Oh, 100%. Dude, and Sina's gonna try to knee him. It's gonna be. They should have just made it like an open weight MMA fight. To be honest.
Oh,
everything goes.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
but it's gonna be awesome either.
Yeah,
way.
I mean, Sina's probably gonna win. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. Kuzi has a good chin, but like again, this is a light heavyweight or like a heavyweight light heavyweight against a 135 against a bad.
But did you say if it goes to decision that there's?
So honestly, if it goes to decision, it's a draw, but that's still a win for Kuzi.
Right, 100%. But we don't know how it'd be with the bettors or whatever. So this is probably one to just stay away.
I don't know if you can bet on this, to be honest.
Are you not gonna bet on this one either? Okay.
I don't know if you can bet on this one.
Okay, yeah, it'd just be probably for the bettors. Probably best to stay away from this one. But if you want to do it for fun, the pick would be Sina for me. I just think that Goliath's gonna be too much for David this time. I don't think Kuzi's got a slingshot that he can take out Sina with here. So. It's gonna be just.
They should have allowed Kuzi to be able to use a sword.
Yeah, right. I know.
Or some sort of weapon.
Like David.
Yeah, nunchucks or something.
Yeah.
Some combos.
It's gonna be a fun freak show fight for as long as it lasts, and then I'm guessing this is gonna be right before it goes to intermission. And then do you want to talk about a couple intermission previews or no?
Let's just keep firing through because we got a lot more fights to get to. If it wasn't a 20 fight card, we would, but like we still got a lot of fights to get to here. So like we haven't even now we've reached the heavyweight Grand Prix portion of the card, which we have 4 first round heavyweight tournament fights here. And let's start with Jose Augusto against Sidario. Now, Sidario, great performance in his last fight, but again, it was against Hisaki Kato, who Kato hadn't fought for a little while. Kickboxing crossover, who fought really well in mixed martial arts, but let's be honest, we all knew how that one was going to go down. Lost to Ueda via that freaking high kick that led to the ground and pound, which was nuts. Because at one point, Sidario was like the UFC had interest in bringing over Sidario at one point But at the time, he'd only beaten Cans, right? Other than the Martinez win, he'd only really beaten Cans. It was kind of like, okay, if you can beat Ueda, maybe the UFC brings you over. But no, lost to Ueda. They gave him a tune-up fight again against Kato. But he got the shit end of the draw, dude, because Augusto is going to kill him. Going to absolutely destroy him, dude. Like, people keep saying, oh, weight difference. Augusto weighed 265 for his last heavyweight fight. There is no weight difference, dude. Augusto is huge as well.
Because remember in Bellator, he fought Anthony Rumble Johnson, rest in peace, and that was at 205 pounds. So
that was 4 years ago, though.
Right, exactly. But that's where they're getting that from.
Yeah,
they're thinking, oh, he's a small heavyweight. Actually, Sudario is the one that's a small heavyweight.
Yeah. So he beat Byung in his last fight, or in his 3-fight win streak. He beat Byung, who's 9-2 in Bellator. Went to LFA, beat Richard Jacoby, who's 7-1, and then beat a 17-5 guy, Edivan Santos as well via doctor stoppage. So he has He had 2 decisions and 1 finish in his last 3 wins. But just overall in his career, has fought way better guys. Like you said it. Fought Anthony Johnson. Fought Rumble Johnson. Has fought Jose Santos. Has fought Alex Polizzi. Like, he's just fought way better opponents. Jonathan Wilson, who was 9-3, who he won via arm triangle choke. He's well-rounded. He's got a good ground game. And he's got 6 KOs in his pro MMA career. Now, he's out of the Pitbull camp, but, like, there's not a lot of heavyweights in that camp, so it's not like he has regular training partners who are really gonna like uplift him in that one compared to like the lower division guys in that camp. But yeah, he's just a way better fight than Sudario. Now on Tapology, Sudario is 22%. Can't imagine Sudario is gonna come in as the favorite here. But even if it's close, like if you can get like even Augusto at like -120, like that's still good odds in my opinion. He's better everywhere, whether it's on the ground, whether on the feet. I think Augusto wins however way he wants in this one.
Nice. Sudario has been calling for international fighters, and he gets his wish finally here. And
yeah,
one international
it's a tough one. It's a tough one. He's a good striker, man. He's a good striker. He's just, and his grappling, it's like, it's not really there, but he like kind of has takedown defense. He just hasn't faced anyone good.
Well, I mean, you waited like you were saying, but now this is it. This is the test. This is what he's been calling for. This is what he wanted. So it's here. Now it's time to put up or shut up. And, and what a test it is. I can't wait to see this. And Sudario has a background in sumo. And that's why he's a heavyweight. And, he is pretty good. But like you're saying, Augusto from the Pitbull Brothers camp, even though they don't have many heavyweights there, he's still he looked fantastic. Even in the Rumble Johnson loss.
Bellator and LFA guy who both had like good heavyweights.
Yeah, exactly. It's and even in that Rumble Johnson loss, he still looked. I mean, he rocked Rumble and almost won. And it takes 2 to tango to make a great fight. So it would just he went out on a shield in that and got knocked out TKO'd in that one. So against Rumble Johnson, one of the hardest hitters in there. So he didn't like shy away from going in a firefight with him. Trying to grapple and hump his leg or whatever. He just went in a fire, went on a shield. So it shows that he's got that mentality. He got that dog in him, like they like to say. So and now at the Pitbull Brothers camp, remember when the Pitbull Brothers fought in RIZIN, they knew the assignment. At least Patrici did, Patricio's brother, and because he beat the one that just signed to the UFC. But no, not Tofik. Gosh, it was in the damn Grand Prix that he won. Anyways, Patrici won by ground kick, excuse me. So that camp knows the assignment, and they're going to have Augusto prepared. They're going to have Augusto prepared for this. So Sudario, you got what you wanted, bro. You got the good, strong international fighter. Now let's see what you can do with it. But I think this is a little bit too much for him. I think Augusto, like you're saying, it's going to be too good. Let's face better competition, more experience. So cash it for Augusto in the first one of the Grand Prix. And I can't wait for man. I hope they have like a fantastic, like graphics or whatever for this Grand Prix. I know they're going to start it off with some kind of intro opening. I hope they keep going with a dinosaur thing with the T-Rexes like on the posters. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get to the next one here. We got Islambek Batibek Ulu against Alexander Soldakin. Now, Soldakin, I'm actually very familiar with him. He's out of Germany, 31 years of age, 14-5 as a pro, 3-2 in his last 5 fights, coming off a win. 9 KO TKOs, 3 submissions, 2 decisions. 1 disqualification. He actually got disqualified in his Dana White's Contender Series fight.
Because he knew the assignment.
Yeah. Funny enough, he went to...
We're talking about, and he threw an illegal strike.
Yeah, an illegal knee against Mario Piazon.
So he already knows the assignment, so he's perfect fit. I can't wait.
He did fight Benjamin Sehic with the fight. The result was actually overturned because of some substances there, I believe. But anyway, so had a little, I don't know, bad luck in 2023. Has a kickboxing fight at the end of 2023, wins, and has a good win in Eclipse Fight Night in September of 2024 to get a first round knockout, and now he's coming back for this one. So a prospect in Open FC, MMA series, and RCC, so some of the lower regional Russian scene, but I mean, he went on a win streak, 10-fight win streak before his Eris fight and then his Dana White Contender Series fight. He's got power. He's pretty well-rounded. He's young. He's dangerous. Now, Islambek Baktibek Ulu, 8-2 as a pro, 4-1 in his last 5 fights on a 3-fight win streak. I believe he's the Octagon champion. Yes, he is the Octagon champion. He defended his belt last July, where he got a first-round knockout. Before then, he got a front kick, 3rd-round knockout to win the title. He hasn't been fighting guys at the same level as Soldakin. He hasn't been fighting guys even close to the guys who Soldakin has fought against. Do I think he's good for like a regional heavyweight fighter? Yes. But when he first fought Soldakin, because this is a rematch, when they fought an open fighting championship back in 2020, he lost via unanimous decision. He won his next fight against a guy making his debut, then went up against a 3-0 guy and lost in brave unanimous decision before he went on his 3-fight win streak. Now, 2 of those fights being a title win and a title defense. So as much as I like him, he's 5-0 in Octagon, 6 knockouts, 1 decision. Both of his losses have been via decision. He's super durable and fun, but he's a lot slower than Soldakin. And I think, actually, you know what? Fuck it. We're going with Ulu. He's going to land one Hail Mary strike and knock him out.
Wow. Nice. You're picking the Kyrgyzstan.
He is the underdog in this one. I don't even need to look at the odds that aren't posted yet at the time of this way. He's going to be the underdog in this one. And I'm going to bank on him landing that shot because he's going to be like Randy Marsh in the baseball episode. I didn't hear no bell. Like, he's going to continue to walk forward. You know, assuming this stays on the feet, he's going to continue to try to scramble out of things. I don't think Soldakin's going to submit him. Soldakin probably will beat him up over 3 rounds again. But I think if there's anyone who's going to get the knockout, it's going to be Ulu versus getting knocked out. So I'm going to pick him.
And remember, there's the X factor, the superior rule set. If he can knock down Soldakin, he can land a grounded kick. He
could. I think Soldakin is the one to worry about there, though, because he's a little bit quicker.
No, I absolutely love it. And that's why I'm picking Soldakin. For me, he's the favorite of the tournament, and just for that reason, that we already know that he knows the assignment. We saw him win on Dana White's Contender Series, and he got eliminated because of the illegal knee under the pussified UFC rule set. So, but that's 100% legal in the Epic Rising Fighting Federation.
No, that's true.
Probably what put him on the. That's probably what got him signed.
Honestly,
100%. So. To me, I really like this matchup. I think it's a good one. I know they fought before, but that was a long time ago.
5 years ago.
Exactly. So it's a lot's change. Ulu's got a much more experience now. It's going to be good. Like you're saying, he's a durable fighter. And so Daka's really going to have to bring it. And I'm just hoping for some superior rule set in this one. But, yeah, I'm picking Soldakin. And it's another fantastic matchup in this heavyweight Grand Prix. I can't wait to I mean, I'm so happy they're bringing back the Grand Prix. It's gonna be freaking awesome. And we're getting 2 this year. It's sensational. I just love it. So I can't. Yeah, pick a Soldak and cash it. And I love that you're picking Ulu for the underdog though.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next one here?
We got two more heavyweights and then 2 more fights. We got 4 more to get into here. We have Marek Samusiuk against the American Predator, Daniel James. And shout out to the We Are RIZIN podcast. They had Daniel James on the show recently.
So the Focus Fights? So the Focus Fights.
So does Focus Fights too. Okay, there you go. Shout out to the boys there. Go check out both of the interviews. 43 years of age, but still fighting like good competition on the regional scene, man. 15-7-1, 3-1-1 in his last 5 fights, coming off a win in PFL where he beat Marcelo Golm via ground and pound, finishing the first round. Didn't fight much in 2024, only had that 1 fight. So looking to get back in there. I mean, he's fought everywhere, man. 4-2 in ACA, 2-1-1 in Bellator, 2-1 in LFA, and 1-0 in PFL. Never won a title, funny enough, on the regional scene, despite fighting in almost every single league. 10 KO TKOs, 4 submissions, 1 decision. And he's only been, he's had 1 fight loss via disqualification. Yeah, so Marcelo Golm was 10-4. Gokam Sarikam was 8-2, who he lost to via unanimous decision. Before then, Marcelo Golm beat the first time, 10-3. No contest against Fortune, who was 12-3. Fought a 10-3 guy, Pessoa, back in 2021 in ACA. Like if you just go down his record, like he's only fought good guys pretty much his whole career. So like a lot of respect for Daniel James, still getting it done. However, he has been slowing down quicker. Not that he's been getting finished in losses, because even his last loss to Gokhan, it was via decision, but noticeably the gas tank fades quicker than it did when he was younger. And he's fighting a guy who's only 28 years of age out of Poland, who isn't like, people are saying that he's probably like the worst fighter out of all of them in this one. He's not necessarily projected to go far or win this tournament by any means, but he's 7-4 as a pro. I mean, KSW, they're not known for sending their best over to RIZIN, but hopefully since the relationship is better now, that we will see more KSW fighters come over. But he is on a 3-fight win streak, Jay Wolf. He's 7-4 as a pro on a 3-fight win streak. 4 KO TKOs, 0 submissions, 3 decisions, 5-3 in KSW. He's never lost via decision. He's gotten knocked out 3 times and lost once via submission. His last 3 fights were against good opponents, 10-5, 5-1, 11-4, and he finished 2 out of those 3, his last fight going to decision. This one's tough because I think Daniel James could probably knock him out. I feel like Daniel James has a better chance of knocking out Marek than Marek having a better chance of knocking out Daniel James. Having said that, I could see Marek winning the fight later, even if he makes this more of a grind fest versus, just rock'em sock'em. So I think if Marek gets out of the first round, he might be able to control and, small shots in the clinch to maybe get that win. And I'm going to go with the Polish fighter on this one. I think Daniel James will win if this doesn't go past the first round.
Nice. I love it. Like you were talking about in the Ulu versus Soldakic fight about how you're going with the underdogs.
I'm swinging on underdogs on this card. Holy.
This one, I think this one right here is another live underdog right here. Marek, you're absolutely right. He's going to be the betting underdog when the odds come out, because James, like you're saying, he's faced much better competition. The former PFL Bellator fighter,
just the speed factor too with the Polish guy, I think.
Right, exactly. He's younger.
Gas tank.
It's not like he's KSW is a legit organization. So those, it's like, and the collaboration is going to continue. I just love how this is showing that collaboration is still going. It's still there. It's going to continue. Hopefully we get one day your dream fight with Phil DeFreeze coming over.
Hey, he needs to get back Warsec, and then we'll talk. That's going to be a scary one.
No, but this one, honestly, I'm rooting for Daniel James, of course, American fighter, the American Predator. I love Predator. I love his answers on on the We Are Rising podcast about his favorite Predator movie, except where when he talked about he had to throw in that stupid movie Prey that everybody is just glazing nonstop. I cannot, man, it was not as good as people were saying. I mean, the whole premise of some little Indian or Native girl Native American girl being able to fight a predator. No way, dude. No way. That just was just. Anyways, he said that the first Predator was the best one, which is obviously true. So, but just because Predator is this whole thing, you know, he's got the tattoo of the Predator on his chest, wears a Predator medallion, you know, and hopefully for this walkout, he's gonna have maybe a Predator mask on or something, do like a whole Predator style walkout.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes though. But anyways, I'm rooting for Daniel James here, American fighter, Predator fan, obviously. So I really hope he can do it. But for the betting purposes, if Merrick is an underdog, he is a very live underdog. I would definitely take him. I'm picking him for an underdog upset win in this one, even though my heart is with the American Predator here. And remember the X Factor, the superior rule set. If Merrick is able to rock him or whatever, or drain his gas tank where it can, to take him down or whatever, the grounded knees and the grounded kicks, they're fight finishing moves. So if he knows the assignment, it could be an upset here. So that absolutely cash for Merrick for the underdog pick, and let's keep this fantastic heavyweight Grand Prix rolling.
All right, last one. We got Mikio Ueda against Shoma Shibisai. This one is going to be fun. Obviously, Ueda, karate style, 4-2 as a pro, and on a little bit of a run right now, actually, as he's 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He did lose to that Polish guy via armbar who was 3-0. But let's just think about Ueda. He just doesn't have a ground game. He is very much a striker. He's got good kicks. He's got good power. And let's be perfectly honest. That Tai and Kim fight was one of the best fights on the last RIZIN card. It was unreal. Both of them showed that they have resilience. Both of them showed that they have a really good power in their strikes, and both of them showed that they actually have really good chins. Because Tai and Kim almost finished Ueda at some points in that one. Took him down, was able to get the better of him in the clinch, and until just Ueda started utilizing his knees, and eventually caught Tai and Kim with that knee to send him to the ground. Tai and Kim is the Road FC champ, and yeah, Ueda fucked him up big time at the end of that one, where early in the fight, Tai and Kim, it looked like he was going to make not easy work of Ueda, but predictable work of him. He's never gotten a submission win. He's never gone to decision. KO, TKO, he's got 4 of them. And he's, like I said, he's got 1 submission loss. 3-2 in RIZIN. He also fought in Grachin before that. Fought some kickboxing and, of course, a karate guy, first and foremost. Shoba Shibisai is 10-3 as a pro. And though he's faced some pretty nasty injuries lately, I believe coming off ACL or something. Yeah, coming off an ACL injury. He's not super active, but he is on a 3-fight win streak. He's been off for a year and 7 months due to that injury, where he got a freaking heel hook against a 7-1 guy. Like, who's this guy think he is? Frank Mir? That's impressive for a heavyweight, man. So that's the thing. He's got those skills. He's that well-rounded as a heavyweight, where he's got 4 KO TKOs and 6 goddamn submissions as a heavyweight. 0 decisions. Bro, step aside Ueda, man. Step aside Ueda. Shibisai is my favorite to win the whole goddamn thing. 5-2 in RIZIN, 1-0 in Bellator. Ueda's got nothing on this guy. If he misses him with the head kick, it's over, bro. It's over. We don't see heavyweights friggin' ankle pick guys anymore. And look at the guys that he's beaten. Some really good opponents. 9-0, 5-0. Guys with experience when he was still coming up with a lot more fights. And he's had some custom rules fights here and there, but he's had a long career, and he's proven now anyways, these days, that he's the better fighter. He's taking out Sidario, and now he's going to take out the other RIZIN heavyweight and win the whole competition.
I love it. I love you picking him as to win the whole Grand Prix. So you get a Japanese fighter to win the whole thing. This is going to be a fantastic matchup, especially for the Japanese fans. It is, like you're saying, this might be the best matchup of the opening round of this heavyweight Grand Prix right here.
Just hope he doesn't get injured.
Yeah,
because he is a Band-Aid.
But hey, this is, I mean, man, I don't want to pick against Ueda. I love Ueda because he's a Kyokushin karate fighter, so he's a striker first. I just love that. But Shibisai is a Ganryujima moat fight legend. Have you ever seen him in moat fighting?
Yep.
I just love that. And it's just, man, I love it how whoever wins this, there's going to be a Japanese fighter, a good one, in the semifinals. So it's man, it's so tough to pick one of these. You're picking Shibisai, which is probably the wise pick. But I'm gonna go with my head on this one. I mean, I'm gonna go with my heart on this one and pick Ueda, especially if he's gonna be the underdog, because Ueda, I think they have title aspirations for him, to where I think they want him to go to the final.
Well,
win this
yeah. I mean, I wish honestly this show would have happened after the Korea one, because I would have loved to see him fight Tai and Kim in a rematch on the Korea show, because it was just such a good fight. But hopefully we see that rematch again down the road.
And I'm sure they will, because especially I'm sure he'll be Chung Kim is going to be on the Korea card.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll do the rematch eventually somewhere down the road.
He was supposed to fight in the last Road FC card, but had to pull out. So I don't know if he was like maybe still dealing with injuries from the New Year's card.
Maybe that's, you probably hit the nail on the head of what happened.
Well, he got fucked up in that fight at the end there. So like, and I think he was in like a sling or something, like ringside at the Road FC as well. Anyways,
this is a fantastic matchup between two great Japanese heavyweights, and really looking forward to seeing who wins this one. I like that you picked Shibasai. That's probably the smarter pick. But if Ueda is an underdog, I like Ueda as an underdog here. I'm going to pick him for an underdog bet. Cash it for Ueda.
Let's go. All right. Final two fights. We're done with the heavyweights now. It's going to be awesome. Let's get to the co-main event here. We have Mikuru Asakura, who was supposed to take on Ren Hiromoto in the match too, but obviously Ren Hiromoto injured. Couldn't fight in this one. So instead, they gave Asakura Chihiro Suzuki, coming off one of the best fights of the year, one of the best fights in RIZIN history, against Doubtbeck in that razor-thin split decision loss. And honestly, no one lost that one. Everyone won. It was an amazing fight. Yeah, taking on Asakura, quick turnaround after a war, much like the Ito and Laramie fight, except this one on just even another level of violence, on another level where Suzuki, he took a lot of damage in this one, rocked a lot, especially in the first two rounds. And coming back,
they had cuts. They both exchanged cuts, right?
And coming back 4 weeks later, he A, doesn't get a camp like Ito, and B, claims he doesn't have any injuries. Bullshit, dude. Like, something is torn, something is still bruised. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know he's young. So yeah, he has the youth factor, 25 years of age, but like, he's not fight young. He had a kickboxing career that he still kind of has, and then he's fought.
He's still the champion.
Yeah, but like, he's been. We've been doing these for 2 years now. He's been the champion. He's been the champion for 2 years. Hasn't defended the title. So like, yes,
no, he still is.
He is the champion. He's just not active in kickboxing anymore. But 13-5 in MMA on a 2-fight losing streak right now. Against Kleber, where he looked better in that one, and then obviously Doubtbeck, which is like an amazing fight, but didn't have a camp and is like literally still recovering and has to cut weight and put his body through trauma again here. Let's be perfectly honest. So I'll get to my prediction right after, but Asakura, we know how much of a legend Asakura is. He's one of the guys who almost single-handedly brought interest back in towards mixed martial arts. Brought interest to mixed martial arts back in Japan after the Dream days. So he will forever be like insanely respected for that. And as a fighter, being insanely respected too in the ring. Former champ, 8 KO, TKO, 1 submission, 8 decision, 11-4 in RIZIN. Fought in rings as well. But lately he's not been doing well. Lately his age has been showing the damage in which he's taken is starting to show. He's not as durable as he once was, and that showed with how easy Ren Hiramoto took him out in his game in the striking department. Karamov beat him via submission. He fought Yaman and then lost to that one and lost to him brutally as well in the small gloves kickboxing fight. He did beat Ushiku back in 2023, but that's the thing. He had 3 fights in 2023, lost 2 of them, got brutally knocked out by Ren Hiramoto. And it's cool to see him back in this one. And if anything, he has the edge in having a full camp, having had time to recover from the knockout, going up against Suzuki here, where if Suzuki even had 2 months, I'd be like, we don't even have to have this conversation. This isn't 5 years ago. Suzuki will win this fight, right? Because you put Mikuru up against freaking Delpech, Mikuru gets folded in the first round, right? It's not even a close to the same fight, right? You put Suzuki up against Ren again, and Ren gets absolutely starched, in my opinion, right? Like, Suzuki is a well-rounded MMA fighter now who is a deadly striker and has always been a deadly striker and who's an absolute dog. You know, would I like him to keep his fucking hands up at times? Yes, but like, you do you, man. You do you, because they're exciting freaking fights. I'm worried for Suzuki in this one, J Wolf. I'm not going to lie. 4 weeks, bro. He's human. No, I'm sorry. 4 weeks.
He's still at the age where he's got the Wolverine recovery.
Does he?
25?
Does he? We don't know that. We don't know that. Dude, even the mighty Pitbull fell in a short notice fight, and he didn't have a 4-week war before then, right? To Suzuki. Like,
yeah,
this might be
both were on short notice for that bout.
Yeah, so but Suzuki was preparing for a camp. You know what I mean? Suzuki, like, this might be a one where he's just not physically ready. And Mikuru has power. He always has. And if Mikuru hits him first, he could rock him. And Mikuru's not like, he's gonna follow him. He's gonna follow him down and finish the fight. So I'm still picking Suzuki to win, okay? But like, if Mikuru is going to be the underdog, and I think that is the underdog bet because of Suzuki's, I don't even want to say his lack of being durable, because he's durable, but like, I'm sorry, the body can only take so much. And 4 weeks, dude, after it's not just because it was a fight 4 weeks ago. It was that fight 4 weeks ago, right? Like, I trust Ito to perform better than Suzuki, to be honest. And I still think Ito's going to lose his fight too, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. And this is the even though it's not the main event, it's the people's main event. Mikuru Asakura, the older the brother of Kai Asakura, that's in the UFC now. This is his brother Mikuru here is a bigger star in Japan. This event has already sold over 40,000 tickets to fill the Tokyo Dome, and most of them are probably all there for Mikuru Asakura, even though there's some other big names on this card. But the headliner is Mikuru Asakura.
Breaking down guy, leader of Japan top team, former RIZIN champ. And again, he, not single-handedly, but definitely one of the biggest figures to reintroduce interest in MMA in Japan.
I would say he's after the post-pandemic, the plandemic, as I like to call it. I think he's the one that saved.
I would argue even before. I would argue after. I would argue that like Shinryu's a legend, but the Japanese people were always split on him in Dream because he was disrespectful and he was the bad boy. Whereas Mikuru was beloved after, right? And he was like the next guy. But like between Shinryu and Mikuru, it was just like people were doing like people's interest in grappling was honestly probably more than MMA because of Aoki, right? And then there wasn't really a big star since the Asakura brothers. So that's why I say that like there was a lull during Dream to now. And Mikuru is the one who brought the interest back right when RIZIN started to take off. That's my argument.
Pre-pandemic, they also had Tension that was fighting in RIZIN.
He's not an MMA fighter.
Right, but I mean...
No, I'm talking MMA. I said he brought interest back to MMA from the Japanese people who veered off more to boxing and kickboxing after Pride.
Okay, well, he's definitely one of the, if not the main contributor to that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's one of them for sure. One of them for sure. Because I would say like Aoki was more of like a star globally than he was. Obviously, he was a star in Japan, don't get me wrong, but like he didn't inspire people to start training MMA. He inspired people to start grappling more than anything. And a lot of people weren't as big fan. Like they would probably hate watch him a lot of the time and cheer for him to lose because he was, saying how he was happy that he snapped people's legs in half backstage and stuff like that. The crazy.
No, you're right. Mikuru is absolute superstar. Probably right now the biggest Japanese star they got. They got some other ones that are coming up. Ren, all those guys. Saku Jr. probably going to be another one. Prince Akimoto. All these guys that are coming up. The Rice Ball kid that just won the Kyokushin tournament.
He's a fun fighter to watch.
Right, and even on the women's side, you got Striker Queen Reina and all. All these, and
Seikezawa.
Yeah, just you got some J stars, but none as big as Mikuru. Even his brother Kai is not as big as Mikuru. Mikuru is the Japanese superstar, and the main reason why this card sold 40,000 in the Tokyo Dome already. So this is the people's main event, even though it's not the main event. But it's going to be. I absolutely love it because I love Chihiro Suzuki.
Yeah. And I don't think Mikuru out-grapples him because I think Suzuki's done enough to
I'm surprised
be able to
they
keep
booked
fights on the
Chihiro.
field.
I'm surprised they booked Chihiro in this because I think Chihiro's just gonna even with the quick 4-week turnaround, I think Chihiro's gonna just smoke him. I think that
I'm banking on it too. I'm just saying it's a very big asterisk, the damage that he took so recently. Because he hasn't had a camp. He's had a recovery time. And that's still dangerous.
But it is. But he has experience with this. He did not have a camp or anything for the Patricio Pitbull fight, and that was a more dangerous fight. But at that time, he had that edge of just he was the unknown. He was supposed to get just run over by Patricio. He just had that to come in there and just knock out Patricio like he did. The first man ever to knock out Patricio. That was absolutely sensational. So he doesn't have that edge this time, so maybe it could be the quick 4-week turnaround could hurt him. Who knows how much that cut has healed? And you know what? But he might be pissed off because I don't think he lost that fight with Dalbeck. Like you said, it was razor close. My scorecards, he definitely won. I think the judges were scared
for me, though,
to give the foreigner. To look like they were doing home cooking decision on that one to give it to Chihiro, but whatever. I'm telling you right now, Chihiro's going to win this, and it's going to be just depends on how brutal. Hopefully, he doesn't like knock him out so brutal that Mikuru has to retire. Because
like I said, I'm picking Suzuki. There's no way I'm betting on him though. I'm betting on Mikuru. 100%.
Yeah. 100%. Like, so you're doing the classic. What I like to do. What's your heart's with Mikuru, but your head's picking the winner of Chihiro.
Kind of. No, I'm just going by I see a guy take that much damage. I have no confidence in him winning the fight if my money's involved. For my picks, we're going Suzuki because he should win this fight, right? But that's a big asterisk, and I keep going to it, man. That was one of the most brutal fights I have seen in a long time. Both of them got fucked up.
Yeah, and it was a legit fight of the year candidate.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. That one and Ito Laramie were 100% fight of the year candidates. 100%. So I want to see. There's no way he's as quick and as sharp, but even a Suzuki at 80%, I still think beats this Mikuru, which is why I picked him to win. Yeah, it depends on how motivated Mikuru is as well.
Yeah, which I think he is, because he's kind of fighting for pride at this point on a 3-fight losing streak.
Right, and I also love it because if Mikuru has a good showing, he's going to be motivated to come back and face Ren and maybe Haguwara and all these potential future matchups.
Yeah, just stay in the sport. And
I love how it's rewarding Chihiro, even though he lost the fight against Dalbeck.
It's another quick payday.
And now he's getting a big payday on the Tokyo Dome card in a very high profile fight. And also another factor, not only was it a quick turnaround, he doesn't have momentum this fight.
Yeah.
He does not have momentum. He's coming off of 2 losses. So that could be another factor. So this is really interesting. And if you're saying that
it's risky in my mind more than anything, because it's you're on a 2-fight losing streak and you're going to risk it all on a 4-week notice fight after taking damage. Yes, it's against Mikuru, and that's probably why he took it, because it's a winnable fight for him. But say this,
Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, and Tokyo Dome, right? But say this was against another killer, fuck, man,
I know, right?
that. this is why I love the Japanese MMA scene, though, because of stuff like this. This would not happen in the United States. This would not happen in Canada. This would not happen in the UK, right? Like, this is
anywhere where they use the pussified rule set, it would not happen.
Well, I mean, it would probably happen in like Road FC, but
hey, but don't they do superior rules?
No, Black Combat.
Oh, it's Black Combat, not Road FC.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. All right. Last fight here, guys. Last fight here. We have Kleber Koike Earps against Razhabali Shaydullaev. And I am so excited for this one. Shaydullaev undefeated. He is 12-0 as a pro, 24 years of age, and he absolutely beat the piss out of Yuta Kubo in his last fight. I'm actually surprised that it went so long into the second round. Now, we all know that Yuta Kubo, a respectable little run in mixed martial arts as the kickboxing crossover, but going up against a guy who is an extremely high-level grappler, who honestly has some decent boxing as well. Kubo had no match for him, or no answer for him at all, and met his match. And yeah, it was almost hard to watch at times. It was a one-way beating. Shaydullaev got a quick submission against Juan Archuleta. He out-grappled Koji Takeda, who's a very good grappler. So like his run, his three fights in RIZIN have been very, very good. You know, he's fought a dangerous striker and 2 other grapplers and have ripped through them all so easily. 2 first-round finishes. And surprisingly, you know, Yuta Kubo, like I said, survived to go into the second round, where Juan Archuleta and Takeda weren't even able to do that. Fought in Road FC, fought in UAE Wars, fought in ACA, all against good competition. Like, he ain't no Wulin Fang or freaking Kunlun fighter from China who's 21-3, and they fought, and half the guys they beat and were making their debuts, right? Like, he is legit. And this might be a really, really good matchup for him because Kleber loves to fight off his back. Now, is he dangerous off his back? Arm bars, triangles, 100%. But if you can pass his guard, you can do damage to him, even if you posture up in side control. If you posture up in modified half guard side control, or just get into side control. And Shaydullaev will employ the superior rule set in side control. Now, Kleber has faced grapplers before, but like, I just go back to the Gamrot fight. What did Gamrot do? Pass his guard, was able to do enough damage in the top position. Kanehara, what did Kanehara do? Well, landed enough on the feet, was able to do enough on the ground, passing his guard, right? Patricio Pitbull, same kind of thing, man. Same kind of thing. Was able to do enough on the feet, pass his guard on the ground, do damage. Kleber is almost too comfortable on his back, given the success he's had. 29 submissions. 29 submissions! 29 submissions out of his 34 wins have, that's fucking crazy, man. 2 KO TKOs, 3 decisions. Now, is he like a fish out of water on his feet? No, he has his funky style. Like, he has his funky shots from the outside. He's been doing this long enough for like he's comfortable, but he really reminds me of Calvo and Luke's. I don't know if you watch a lot of Luke's. It's one of the best. It is my opinion the best mixed martial arts organization in Mexico. And there's this guy who fights there, and he fights so much like Kleber. Like, he'll fight on the hands, he'll fight on the feet and utilize his hands for a little bit, but it's kind of funky striking to get to the ground. And he's comfortable on his back. He'll take damage, right? He'll get dropped but not finished, to kind of bring guys to the ground as well, and maybe stay on the ground a little bit. And same with Kleber. He's never been knocked out, but he's been dropped plenty of times. As dangerous as he is on the ground, where Shaydullaev is likely going to take him, I think Shaydullaev's pace, speed, pressure, tenacity, and just his attack. I'm not going to give you, Kleber, even a second to snatch anything, because I'm passing guard and elbowing you and kneeing you the whole time while doing it. I think Shaydullaev wins if it goes that direction. And if he just says, screw this, I'm staying on the feet, I have good enough takedown defense, I'll just kick you if you dive for the freaking takedown, the single leg versus the trip, Shaydullaev, I think, will outbox him. So where Shaydullaev runs into those straight shots against strikers, which, I thought maybe would be the case in his last fight. No, this one, I think Shaydullaev gets it. And it's not a title fight, right?
No, I believe it is.
Okay,
yes,
it is a title fight. Okay. That's what I was gonna say. So
Yeah.
he's defending the belt that he won back from Chihiro Suzuki.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
think Anu out of Kyrgyzstan.
Yes, I absolutely love it. This might be one of the most high pro. I mean, as far as skill is concerned, this might be the most like one of the best fights that Ryzen has put on. I mean, both these guys is absolutely sensational. Kleber is from Satoshi De Souza, the lightweight champions camp. They're arguably the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighters in the lower weight divisions, in
Yep.
my opinion.
Former
Just
top
amazing,
KSW guy as well.
incredible grappling. But Shaydullaev, to me, he's if not the highest profile, one of the highest profile signings that they've done.
He's one of the best prospects in the world right now.
100%.
Not even just in RIZIN, like on the planet.
And I just hope that they have a champions clause now, where Shaydullaev wins. I don't want him going to UFC if he wins. I want him to stay in the Epic RIZIN.
Well, if it's a close fight, hopefully we see a rematch. But like, if he just plows through Kleber, like
I seriously,
UFC might be the next destination because he's kind of proven himself in RIZIN right now, and at least he stayed 4 fights. I would like to see at least one title defense. It'd be cool to see like Suzuki or someone, or even like maybe Akimoto work his way up to that. That would be fucking sick. But I still be like, what? Shaydullaev would kill Akimoto.
Right now, absolutely. I mean, Shaydullaev,
he's so good.
It is. This is incredible. This is a fantastic matchup. That's why it's the main event. Besides just the title fight, right? It's just so high level. It might be the highest level.
It is so high level because Kleber is one of the greatest grapplers we've seen in the sport of mixed martial arts. Doesn't get talked to. Yeah, well, because I would just say in general, I mean, when people say it's some of the best grapplers in mixed martial arts, a lot of people in the modern era right now, they think of like Oliveira, they think of all these other, but like they think guys we see in the UFC. They don't think of these guys like him do 29 submissions.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Insane.
On the amazing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter, just incredible, and a fantastic camp with Satoshi De Souza.
No one, he's kind of like Ovechkin in hockey, who are like, where he's going to be. He's in his office with that clapper, scoring 50 to 60 goals a season. Everyone knows where his goals are coming from, yet you just can't stop. And it's like, how Kleber's going to win, yet only a handful of guys have stopped him.
Yeah. And remember his fight with Patricio? The only way Patricio was able to win that fight is he would not engage on the ground, just was like standing back and leg kicking him. And that's how he won that fight. But, that was smart of Patricio, credit to him. But, if he would have gone on the ground and tried to engage him at all, probably Kleber would have beat him. So, but Shaydullaev, he's also got excellent grappling. I'm just curious, is this going to be like the Sabatello and Ota fight, which has on paper it's a grappler's delight, but will their grappling cancel each other out? And if that happens, then Shaydullaev has the better striking, 100% than Kleber, in my opinion. So that's why I'm picking Shaydullaev. Cash it in, new Shaydullaev, and we're gonna have a new champion. And hopefully, there's a champion clause, and he's gonna stay in the Epic RIZIN, but it's gonna be fantastic. I cannot wait to see it. And if there is any ground fighting in this, I want to see who knows the assignment. And if Shaydullaev is able to utilize a superior rule set, I'm just so excited for him. It's going to be freaking awesome. I cannot wait. You said you're gonna stream it live, or you're gonna be on a work retreat? Or?
I won't be hosting Fight Companions this weekend. I am away for work. I will be watching this. I'll be watching Deep. I'll be watching Pancreas. I'll be watching all of it, guys. So thank you so much for hanging out with us for this picks and predictions video. We went over 2 hours again, Jay Wolf. But guys,
hey, there was 20 fights.
I know it was 20 fights. It was 20 fights.
If you don't have a Fight Companion this time, come on into the Epic RIZIN Discord channel where we watch everything live. I'm in there. You can watch the fights list live. Just don't ask for illegal stream link. You go to RIZIN.tv. It's only $20. Don't be a broke ass. Get it. It'll give you full replay, everything. And it's not as cool as the Fight Companion with Aisha, and the City Life Project, but it's still a lot of fun in there. And also, check it out. We got the previews with the We Are RIZIN podcast, and I'm going to be on with Jay Krish on the focus fights preview. That's we're gonna do a nice full length 3 hour long podcast, Rogan style, to go into in depth of all these fights. But before we get off this, I just want to say thank you again for having me on here. Thank you to your audience for listening and enjoying the Epic RIZIN Fighting Federation. It's our favorite promotion because of the beloved superior rule set. I just can't thank you enough. It's awesome. Thank you for having me on, brother. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on every single preview show, every single week leading up to the RIZIN shows. You'll be back in just a few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, for the RIZIN Korea show. But enjoy the fights, all of you guys. Let us know your picks in the comments. As always, like and subscribe. And I will be back covering the next deep shows, the next RIZIN shows, the next following week. We don't take many weekends off, especially covering RIZIN. But like I said, won't be home, won't be able to stream, but I will be covering it. So, follow the RIZIN Discord. I'll be in there chatting up with the boys as well.
Let's do the one, our send-off that we like to do. And, of course, we're talking about the almighty Pride FC when we say this, and that's Pride never die. Pride has RIZIN. We out. Peace. Thanks for listening, everybody. Special like City Life Project podcast. Best podcast in the whole sport. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
Hell yeah.